Most people know about the many famous Mauser rifle designs that now have been in production spanning 3 centuries. But it isn't often that we speak much to their pistols. The broom handle is probably the most famous, and the HSC is well known for its sleek design. But the 1910 and 1914 handguns are rarely talked about, which is strange considering that over 500,000 variants were made. The 1910 and 14 handguns stem from Mauser's desire to create a universal handgun design whereby many calibers would be available in more or less the same package, not unlike companies like Glock today. The 9mm and 45 ACP versions did not fare well, and I've seen prototypes at auction go for over $50,000. But the 25 ACP and 32 ACP guns were a wild success. This is a 1914 Chevron in 32, but let's take a look at a few features. First and foremost, you notice that the roll marks are deep and prominent. Having a Mauser back in the day was somewhat of a status symbol as they were expensive and very well regarded, not unlike Browning. It's also marked with LG, which indicates it was a rural constabulary gun from Saxony in the Weimar Republic. Now the safety system is very strange. You have the lever that engages it and the button that disengages it. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but there is a reason I guess that it did not catch on. Upon firing the last shot, the slide automatically locks to the rear, but when you insert a fresh magazine, it goes home and sends around into the chamber so you can fire the pistol immediately. This I actually do kind of like. These are striker fired, and when the striker is brought to the rear, of course, it does serve as a cocked indicator. The sights are also quite simple, with a notch and post arrangement. Again, speaking to the striker mechanism, the trigger is also very, very nice. It's light, but it has a bit of take-up. So that being said, let's shoot it a little bit. Here you can see me fumble a bit with the safety mechanism. As you can see, you do press the button and it disengages, but it doesn't really feel natural. Maybe it's just that I'm used to clicking a switch up or using the same switch as I do to engage the safety to disengage it, but I would much prefer that they would not have integrated this design feature. So it's accurate and reliable like any Mauser product, but let's take a look at how it works. It's actually a pretty simple blowback design, which back then, even like today, wasn't that big of a deal, but there's a small button on the front you press and rotate this bit, which is a recoil spring guide rod. Kind of, it actually sits inside of the guide rod. Pull the slide back and it will automatically lock, and then you can pull the barrel right out of there for cleaning. This is actually very handy because then you can just bore snake it or do it the old-fashioned way, however you prefer. So reinsert your magazine so it sends the slide home, but be wary because it may fly forward. And then pull the trigger and remove the magazine, which will allow you to remove the slide. Once you're at this point, remove the magazine all the way. You can pull the striker mechanism and spring all the way back into the rear. I use the little guide rod retaining rod thingy there. And there you go, a fully field stripped Mauser 1914. You can of course take the side plate off and reveal more of the mechanism, which is kind of neat. But these are fun pistols. They're accurate, reliable. They're not actually very expensive either. I got this whole thing for, I believe, $400 or $500, which was a pretty good deal. And they're still accurate, reliable, and 32 ACP, while considered weak by today's standards, is still a perfectly viable defensive cartridge. Now, I wouldn't use this gun for defensive purposes, but it is what it is. So, special thank you to Ventura Munitions, guys. We hope to see you next time.